Wealthy couple catches the cleaner, helping their wheelchair-bound daughter play the harp, and it changes her life. Karen was mopping the hallway floor when she heard the off-key sound coming from the music room. She had recognized that noise for months, Emily trying to play the harp alone while her parents worked. The 9-year-old girl was there again, struggling to reach the strings of the harp, which was too high for her wheelchair. Karen hesitated. Mrs. Jennifer had been clear about not getting involved in family matters, but Emily's frustrated sigh made her drop the cloth into the bucket. "Can I help?" Karen asked softly from the doorway. Emily turned her tear-streaked face. "Karen, I can't. My hands don't reach properly." The cleaner glanced around. The Thompsons weren't home, as usual. She approached slowly. "Let's try together." She knelt beside the wheelchair and guided Emily's small hands to the strings. The girl smiled for the first time in weeks. "Like this." "Slowly," Karen whispered. "My grandma played the harp at church. She taught me a little when I was a child." The notes began to sound more harmonious. Emily laughed as Karen adjusted her posture and showed her where to place her fingers. "Why didn't you ever tell me you could play?" "Your dad and mom, they wouldn't like it. I'm just the cleaner." "But you're my friend," Emily protested. Karen's heart ached. She had worked there for 3 years, seen this girl every day, but had to keep her distance. The rules were clear. "Shall we keep going?" She deflected. They spent 20 minutes like that, Karen patiently teaching, Emily absorbing every instruction. The music flowed better with each try. "Karen, why don't my parents ever have time to teach me?" The question caught Karen off guard. How could she explain to a child that her parents preferred hiring private tutors who quit after 2 lessons because Emily wasn't making enough progress? "They work hard to give you everything good." "I'd rather they stayed with me," Emily murmured. Then they heard the front door open. Karen jumped up, her heart racing. "I have to get back to work." "Karen, don't go, please." But she was already grabbing the bucket, pretending she had just been passing by, when Richard and Jennifer Thompson walked in. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now back to the story. Jennifer stopped when she saw her daughter in the music room. "Emily? What are you doing here alone? Where's Rebecca?" "The physical therapist cancelled again," Emily replied quietly. Richard sighed, already checking. "His phone. I'll call the agency. We need someone more committed." Karen kept scrubbing the same spot on the floor, pretending not to hear. But Emily looked at her desperately. "Dad, Mom, I played 3 notes in a row today." "That's nice, sweetheart," Jennifer said distractedly, also on her phone. "Karen, when you're done there, I need you to clean my office." "Yes, Mom." Karen hurried down the hall, leaving Emily alone again. She heard the girl try to repeat what they had practiced, but without help, the notes came out wrong once more. The next day, Karen arrived early. The house was still quiet. She passed Emily's room and saw the girl awake, staring out the window. "Good morning," she dared to whisper. Emily turned with a bright face. "Karen, are you going to help me again today?" "I can't, sweetie. Your parents, they left. Dad went to New York and Mom had an early meeting." Karen bit her lip. She knew she shouldn't, but Emily's hopeful look defeated her. "Just 15 minutes, okay?" They went down to the music room together. Karen had brought a small stool to help Emily reach the strings better. The girl beamed. "You thought of me? I always think," slipped out before Karen could stop herself. They began to practice. Karen noticed that Emily had natural talent. She just needed someone patient to teach her. Her previous teachers had wanted quick results to impress her parents. "You know, Karen, sometimes I dream of playing in a packed theater. That's a beautiful dream. But Mum says I need to be realistic, that people like me..." "People like you what?" Karen interrupted firmly. "You're a smart, talented, and determined girl. The wheelchair doesn't define who you are." Emily began to cry. No one's ever told me that. Karen hugged her, forgetting for a moment all the rules about keeping a professional distance. Is your grandmother alive? Emily suddenly asked. No, she's been gone for many years. You must miss her. Every day. She was everything to me. What was she like? Karen smiled at the memory. Grandma Eleanor was the strongest woman I ever knew. She raised 5 children alone after my grandfather left. Played the harp at church to earn extra money. She said music healed the soul. Did she teach you many songs? A few, but it's been so long. Can you teach me the ones you remember? How could she say no? Karen began playing a simple melody her grandmother had loved. Emily tried to follow along, hitting some wrong notes but persisting. This song is beautiful. What's it called? Gratitude. Grandma said we should be grateful, even in hard times. Why? Because those are the moments that teach us to be strong. Emily grew thoughtful. Karen, are you grateful for working here? The question caught Karen off guard again. How could she explain that yes, she was grateful for the job that supported her 16-year-old son, but it hurt to be invisible? In that house? I'm grateful I met you, she answered honestly. The sound of a car in the garage interrupted them. Karen stood up hurriedly. I need to go. Will you? Tomorrow. We'll see. Karen rushed to the kitchen, arriving just as Jennifer walked in. Karen, I need you to prepare something light for lunch. I'll have guests. Yes, ma'am. How many people? 3 friends from the club. Oh, and keep Emily in her room during the visit. I don't want her wandering around. Karen's chest tightened. How could a mother be ashamed of her own daughter? Wouldn't you prefer she joins you for lunch? Jennifer stared at her as if she'd said something outrageous. Emily gets uncomfortable around strangers. It's better this way. Karen knew it was a lie. Emily loved meeting new people, but Jennifer was ashamed to introduce her wheelchair-bound daughter to her friends. During lunch, Karen served the women as they talked about travel, shopping, and cosmetic procedures. None asked about Emily, as if the girl didn't exist. Karen, more wine, Jennifer ordered. As she poured, Karen overheard one woman remark, Jennifer, you look amazing. No one would guess you have a daughter. Well, I take care of myself, Jennifer replied, not mentioning Emily. Karen returned to the kitchen, her hands shaking with anger. She found Emily at the door, having heard everything. Why is Mom ashamed of me? The girl asked in a small voice. It's not shame, sweetheart. Your mother just... It is. I know it is. Karen hugged her right there in the kitchen. Listen, to me you are no one's shame, understand? But if I could walk, you're perfect as you are. Emily cried in her arms for long minutes. Karen rocked her, forgetting she could be fired if Jennifer saw them. In the days that followed, they established a secret routine. Karen arrived early, and they practiced the harp for half an hour before the family woke up. Emily progressed quickly. Karen, look, I can play the whole song now. It's beautiful. Your grandmother would be so proud. I wish my parents could see. They will one day, I promise. But things got complicated when Jennifer decided to work from home for a week. Karen could barely see Emily, let alone help her with the harp. The girl grew sadder by the day. She stopped eating properly and refused physical therapy. Mrs. Jennifer, Karen ventured one day, Emily seems so down. It's just a phase. Children go through these things. Maybe if you spent some time with her. Jennifer cut her off. Karen, I don't pay you to give advice about my daughter. Just take care of the house, that's all I ask. Karen lowered her head, humiliated, but she couldn't give up on Emily. That night, she slipped a note under the girl's door. Don't give up. The music is inside you. The next day, she found a reply. I miss you, love, Emily. Karen tucked the little note into her pocket, close to her heart. The weekend came, and the Thompsons left for a resort, leaving Emily with the night nanny who was always on her phone. Karen wasn't scheduled to work but went anyway. Karen! Emily shouted happily when she saw her. You came! I couldn't. Leave you alone. They spent the whole afternoon practicing. Emily was radiant, playing better each day. Karen, I have an idea. What if we put on a surprise concert for my parents? Sweetheart, I don't know if... Please. When they see how well I play, they'll be so proud. How could she say no to such hope? All right, let's prepare something special. They began rehearsing a performance. Karen chose 3 songs Emily had mastered and wove a little story between them. "We'll tell a tale with the music," Karen explained. "What story?" "The story of a brave girl who discovered she could fly through music." Emily smiled so brightly that Karen felt her heart warm. But on Monday, everything fell apart. Karen was cleaning Richard's office when she heard raised voices. She edged closer to the door. "Jennifer, we need to talk about Emily." "What about her now?" "The school called. She's been saying she'll be a professional harpist. She's building unrealistic expectations." "It must be that new nanny's influence. I'll replace her." "It's more than that. Emily needs to accept her limitations." Karen's blood boiled. Limitations? Emily's only limitation was parents who didn't believe in her. Right then, she made a decision that would change everything. She knocked. "Excuse me, may I speak with you?" Richard and Jennifer looked up, startled. "What is it, Karen?" Jennifer asked impatiently. "It's about Emily. I've been helping her with the harp." The silence was icy. "What did you say?" Richard stood. "She has talent, Mr. Richard, so much talent. She just needs someone to believe in her." "You've crossed a line," Jennifer snapped. "How dare you interfere with my daughter's upbringing?" "I'm sorry, Mom, but someone had to. Emily spends her days alone while we work to give her the best," Richard interrupted. "The best? The best. Would be having time for her, seeing how special she is." "You're fired," Jennifer said coldly. "I want you out of my house now." Karen felt the ground vanish beneath her. She needed that job. Her son Jason depended on her salary. "Please, Mrs. Jennifer, I apologize. It won't happen again." "Too late, and I don't want you near Emily ever again." Karen left the office in tears. How would she tell Emily? How could she explain she'd never see her again? She went to the girls' room one last time. Emily was in bed reading. "Karen, I was waiting for you. Can we rehearse?" "Sweetheart, I need to tell you something," she explained as gently as she could. Emily began to sob desperately. "No, you can't. Go, you're my only friend." "Emily, listen, you'll keep playing, promise me?" "I can't without you." "Yes, you can. You're strong, remember? The music is inside you." They hugged each other, crying. Karen left one last gift, a notebook with all the sheet music her grandmother had taught her. "When you play, think of me." "Every day," Emily sobbed. Karen walked out of that house with a broken heart, not because of the firing, but because she was leaving behind that girl who had become so important to her. At home, she faced another harsh reality. Jason was worried. "Mom, what happened? Why are you crying?" "I got fired, sweetheart." "What? Why?" Karen explained briefly. Jason hugged her. "You did the right thing, Mom. You always taught me to stand up for those in need. But now, how will I pay for your school things?" "We'll figure it out. We always do." In the days that followed, Karen searched for work everywhere. But Jennifer had spread the word that she was nosy, and no one wanted to hire her. Bills started piling up. Karen sold what she could, took odd cleaning jobs, but it wasn't enough. One afternoon, the phone rang. Unknown number. "Karen, it's Emily." Karen's heart raced. "Sweetheart, how did you—" "I got your number from the kitchen notepad. Karen, I miss you." "I miss you too, my love. But we can't talk. Your parents—" "They're not here. They never are," Emily said bitterly. "Karen, I stopped playing." "No, Emily, you promised." "I can't do it without you. Nothing makes sense without you here." Karen cried. She wanted so badly to help, but how? "Emily, remember the story about the girl who flew with music?" "I do." She could still fly even when she was alone, because the music lived inside her. But it hurts so much. "I know it hurts, but you're strong." The call cut off. Someone must have come home. Karen lay awake all night thinking about Emily. How could a 9-year-old girl feel so alone in a house full of luxury? 2 weeks passed. Karen managed to find some temporary work, but it barely covered the basics. Jason tried to help by doing deliveries after school. On a rainy Thursday, Karen was returning from another failed job interview when she spotted a familiar car parked outside her small apartment. Richard Thompson stood there beside the driver. "Karen, can we talk?" She hesitated but agreed. They went up in silence. The simple yet tidy apartment seemed to unsettle Richard. He glanced at the family photos, the worn but well-kept furniture. "Would you like some coffee?" Karen offered out of politeness. "No, thank you, Karen. I came because Emily isn't doing well." Karen's heart clenched. "What happened?" "She won't leave her room, barely eats. The doctors say it's depression. We've tried everything, but you haven't tried the one thing she actually needs." Richard stared at her. "What?" "Love. Presence. Believing in her. We love our daughter. Loving isn't just paying for expensive schools and doctors. It's being there. It's seeing who she really is, not who you wish she were." Richard rubbed his face, exhausted. "Jennifer won't accept it. Emily's condition. She had so many plans. Emily has plans too. Dreams. Have you ever asked what they are? She wants to be a harpist. It's impossible, Karen. Be realistic." "Why impossible? Because she uses a wheelchair. There are professional musicians with far greater limitations than Emily. You don't understand. In your social circle, all that matters is appearances. Is that what you want to teach your daughter?" Richard fell. Silent, Karen pressed on. "Emily is a brilliant, talented girl full of love to give, but she's withering because her parents are ashamed of her." "It's not shame, isn't it? Then why do you hide her from guests? Why don't you ever bring her to family events?" Richard didn't answer. He knew it was true. "Karen, what do you suggest?" "Let her be who she is, support her dreams, and most of all, be there for her." "Jennifer will never agree." "Then you have to choose, social image or your daughter's happiness." Richard stood, troubled. "I need to think." While you think, Emily is slowly disappearing. After he left, Karen cried. She wanted so much to help Emily, but her hands were tied. Days later, a surprise. Jennifer showed up at the apartment. Karen barely recognized her. She was without makeup, worn out. "May I come in?" Karen hesitated but opened the door. Jennifer looked around, uncomfortable. "Richard told me you came here." "Yes." "Karen, Jennifer began to cry. "I don't know what to do anymore. Emily won't talk to me, won't even look at me. It's like I'm a stranger." "You are a stranger to her." The words were harsh, but Jennifer didn't react. I know I've failed, but it's so hard." "Hard? You don't understand. I had so many dreams when I got pregnant. I was going to teach my daughter to dance, to play tennis. We'd travel together, go shopping. And none of that is possible with a daughter. In a wheelchair, not the way I imagined. Mrs. Jennifer, Emily may not dance ballet, but she can create music that makes people dance. She may not play tennis, but she can play the harp better than many who walk." Jennifer cried harder. "I'm so afraid." "Afraid of what?" "That she'll suffer, that the world will be cruel to her." "The world is already cruel, but not out there. It's inside her own home." It was a hard blow, but necessary. Jennifer wiped her tears. "What should I do?" "Get to know your daughter. The real Emily, not the one you wish she were." "She hates me." "No, she loves you. That's why it hurts so much to be rejected." Jennifer stayed silent for a long time. "Karen, I came here to ask you to come back." Karen was stunned. "As a maid?" "No, as someone who can help Emily and help me be a better mother. You humiliated me. You fired me for loving your daughter." "I know, and I regret it every day. Please, Karen, Emily needs you. And I need you too." It was the first time Karen had seen Jennifer vulnerable, human. "On one condition." "What?" "That you treat me with respect and that you let me keep teaching Emily." "Of course, whatever you want. And one more thing. You need to be present. Hiring me to be Emily's mother won't work. That's your job." Jennifer agreed to everything. Karen accepted, but she knew the battle was only beginning. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, Take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing, the next day Karen returned to the mansion. Her heart pounded as she rang the bell. It was Richard who answered. "Karen, thank you for agreeing to come back. I'm doing this for Emily." "I know, and I'm grateful." Karen went straight to Emily's room. She found the girl lying down, staring at the ceiling. "Emily?" The girl turned slowly. When she saw Karen, her eyes filled with tears. "Karen, is it really you?" "It's me, sweetheart." Emily tried to lift her arms to hug her, but she was too weak. Karen hugged her gently. "You came back. You came back. I promised I'd always take care of you, remember?" They held each other for a long time. Karen could feel how much weight Emily had lost. "Sweetheart, you need to eat. I'm not hungry. What if I make that soup you love? With the little bread rolls. With the little bread rolls." While Karen cooked, Jennifer appeared in the kitchen. She seemed unsure. "Can I help?" Karen nearly dropped the spoon. "You want to help in the kitchen?" I want to learn. I've never cooked for Emily. It was a start." Karen showed her how to make the simple soup Emily loved. Jennifer tried, clumsy but determined. "It's harder than it looks," Jennifer remarked. "Everything worth doing is hard at first." They took the tray upstairs together. Emily was surprised to see her mother. "Mom? Hi, honey. I helped make your soup." Emily looked skeptical. "Why?" "Because I want to learn to take better care of you." It was a small moment, but Karen saw a spark of hope in Emily's eyes. In the days that followed, they established a new routine. Karen returned to helping Emily with the harp, but now with her parents present. At first it was awkward. Richard and Jennifer didn't know how to act or where to stand, but little by little they relaxed. "She really has talent," Richard remarked in surprise after hearing Emily play. "She always has. You just didn't see it." Emily blossomed under the attention. She started eating again, smiling, dreaming. "Karen, do you think I could ever play in a real theater one day?" Before Karen could answer, Jennifer stepped in. "Why not? Let's look into music schools with accessibility." Emily's eyes widened. "Really, Mom? Really? I want to support your dreams." It was progress, but Karen knew the road would be long. The first test came when Jennifer invited her club friends over again. Karen was preparing lunch when Emily appeared in the kitchen. "Are they here?" "Yes." "Is Mom going to hide me again?" Karen didn't know how to respond, but then Jennifer walked in. "Emily, how about joining us for lunch today?" The girl could hardly believe it. "Can I really?" "Of course, I want my friends to meet my talented daughter." It wasn't easy. Karen noticed how some of the women looked uncomfortably at the wheelchair, but Jennifer stood firm, including Emily in every conversation. "Emily is learning the harp," Jennifer said proudly. "She's very dedicated." "How interesting," one woman replied without enthusiasm. "Not just interesting, impressive," Jennifer countered. "Emily, why don't you play something for us after lunch?" The girl froze. "Mum, I don't know if I believe in you," Jennifer said, squeezing her hand. Karen watched from a distance, proud. Jennifer was trying. After lunch, they took the guests to the music room. Karen helped Emily get into position while Jennifer explained, "Karen has been wonderful teaching Emily. She's practically part of the family." It was the first time Jennifer had acknowledged her so publicly. Karen felt her eyes well up. Emily began to play. The notes flowed perfectly, telling the story of a girl who had learned to fly. Even the most skeptical friends were moved. "My goodness, Jennifer, she's extraordinary," one exclaimed. "Yes, she is," Jennifer replied, tears in her eyes. After the guests left, Jennifer hugged Emily. "I'm so proud of you." "Really, Mom?" "Absolutely. Forgive me for taking so long to see it." Mother and daughter cried in each other's arms. Karen quietly slipped out of the room, giving them their moment. But not everything was smooth. Richard still struggled with his own prejudices. One evening, Karen overheard him arguing with Jennifer. "Hiring a private teacher is one thing, but enrolling Emily in a regular music school? Why not? Jennifer, be realistic. How will she keep up with the other children?" the same way she keeps up with everything, with determination and support. And what if she gets frustrated? If she realizes she'll never be like the others? Richard, our daughter doesn't need to be like the others. She needs to be herself. The argument continued. Karen realized there was still a long way to go. The next day, she found Richard in the music room staring at the harp. "Mr. Richard?" "Oh, Karen, just thinking. Do you play any instruments?" "I used to play guitar a long time ago." "Why did you stop?" "My father said music had no future, that I needed to focus on business." Karen understood a lot in that moment. "Do you regret it?" "Every day," Richard admitted. "But it was different. I could choose other things. Emily can choose too. The limitations are in our minds, not in the wheelchair." Richard grew thoughtful. "You know, Karen, you have a way of seeing things. Simple?" "Exactly, without unnecessary complications. Life is already complicated enough. Why add more problems?" At that moment, Emily walked in excitedly. "Dad, do you want to hear me play?" Richard hesitated but agreed. Emily played with passion, and Karen saw the exact moment when Richard truly saw his daughter. "My God," he whispered. "You're amazing, Emily." "Thank you, Dad. Karen says I can get even better if I keep practicing." "Then let's make sure you have the best conditions for that." It was a victory, but Karen knew they still faced many challenges. The first big test came when they enrolled Emily for an audition at the Metropolitan Academy of Music. It was a respected institution, but they had never had a student in a wheelchair. The night before the audition, Emily was terrified. "Karen, what if I mess up? What if they laugh at me?" "No one will laugh, and if you hit a wrong note, just keep playing. What matters is showing your passion." "But the other kids will see a brave girl doing what she loves." Jennifer walked into the room. "Emily, can I talk to you?" Karen made a move to leave, but Jennifer stopped her. "Stay, Karen, you're part of this." She sat on her daughter's bed. "Emily, I know you're nervous, I would be too. But do you know what I've learned these past few weeks?" "What, Mom?" "That courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing things despite the fear. Are you afraid of something?" "I am. I was afraid of not being a good mother to you. And for a long time that fear paralyzed me. But Karen taught me that love is stronger than fear." The three of them hugged. It was a moment of healing. On the day of the audition, the family arrived at the academy together. Karen noticed the curious glances, some whispers, but Emily held her head high. The audition room had a small step leading to the stage, the first obstacle. "There's no ramp," Richard observed, irritated. "We can work around it," Karen said calmly. "Emily, how about we play down here? The music is the same anywhere." The girl agreed. The judges came down, slightly embarrassed. "We apologize for the lack of accessibility," one said. "It's okay," Emily replied maturely. "I'm here for the music." Karen helped position the harp. Jennifer held Richard's hand, both tense. "Whenever you're ready," the head judge said kindly. Emily took a deep breath, looked at Karen, who smiled encouragingly, and began. The first notes came out shaky. Karen saw panic in the girl's eyes, but then Emily remembered, the music lives inside you. What followed was magic. Emily played like never before. These weren't just notes, it was her story being told through music. The story of a girl who learned to fly. When she finished, the silence was absolute. Then one judge began to clap. The others followed. "Extraordinary," the head judge said emotionally. "Absolutely extraordinary." Emily was crying and smiling at the same time. Jennifer and Richard rushed to hug her. "I did it. Karen, I did it." "I always knew you would," Karen replied proudly. The judges conferred briefly. "Emily," the head announced, "it would be an honor to have you as our student, and we promise to provide all necessary accommodations." Emily's joy was contagious. But Karen noticed one judge approaching discreetly. "Are you her teacher?" "No, I'm help at home." "Impressive work. Have you ever considered teaching professionally?" Karen was speechless. "Her, a teacher?" "I don't have a degree." "You have something better, talent and heart. Think about it." In the car on the way home, Emily couldn't stop talking. Did you see how much they liked it? And they're going to build a ramp. Karen, did you see? I saw everything, sweetheart. Richard glanced in the rearview mirror. Karen, that judge was right. You should consider teaching. Mr. Richard, I only have a high school diploma. So, what? Jennifer turned around. You have a gift for teaching, for inspiring. Yes, Karen, Emily agreed. You could teach other kids like me. The idea was tempting but scary. Karen had always seen herself as a cleaner. Could she be more? At home, they prepared a small celebration. Jason was invited and was amazed by the change in the Thompson family. Mom, they seem like different people, he whispered. People change when they open their hearts, Karen replied. During dinner, Emily couldn't stop talking about the academy, but then she asked a question that took everyone by surprise. Karen, why don't you ever play the harp? You only teach me. Karen froze. It's been a long time, Emily, but you know how to play. Play for us. Yes, Karen, Jennifer chimed in. We'd love to hear you. Surrounded by expectant gazes, Karen couldn't refuse. She sat at the harp, her hands trembling. It had been 20 years since she'd truly played, since her grandmother died, and she had to give it all up to work and support her family. The first notes came out hesitantly, but then something happened. The music asleep inside her woke up. Karen played as if the years hadn't passed, as if her grandmother were there guiding her hands. It was a song Grandma Eleanor used to play in hard times, a song about hope, about new beginnings. When she finished, everyone was in tears. Mom, Jason whispered. You never told me. You played like that? I'd forgotten myself, Karen admitted. How does someone forget they have this talent? Richard asked, amazed. When life demands you be practical, dreams get left behind. But it doesn't have to be that way, Jennifer said firmly. Karen, I'm serious about you. Teaching. We could set up a studio here. You could teach Emily and other children. Mrs. Jennifer, that's so generous, but... No buts, Emily interrupted. Karen, you always tell me to follow my dreams. What about yours? The question hung in the air. What were Karen's dreams? She'd spent so much time surviving that she'd forgotten how to dream. That night, Karen couldn't sleep. The Thompsons' offer was tempting, but it seemed too big. Her, Karen, a cleaner, a music teacher. The next day, while cleaning the house, she couldn't stop thinking. That's when she found Emily practicing, alone. Can I come in? Always. Karen, I was thinking that when I'm famous, will you be there with me? Famous? Yeah. I'll play in the biggest theaters in the United States. What a beautiful dream. It's not a dream, it's a plan. There's a difference. Karen laughed. When did a 9-year-old get so wise? Who taught you that? You. You said dreams are wishes, but plans are dreams with work. It was true. Karen had said it without realizing how deep it was. Emily, what if I agreed to teach? The girl jumped in her seat figuratively. Really? Karen, really? I'm thinking about it. Don't think. Do. Like you always tell me. Just then, Jennifer walked in. Sorry to interrupt. Karen, can we talk? In the office, Jennifer was direct. I looked into training courses for music teachers. There's an excellent one starting next month. I'd like to sponsor you. Mrs. Jennifer, I can't accept. Why not? You've already done so much for me. Karen, you gave me back my daughter. Nothing can repay that. Besides, it's not charity. It's an investment. Emily needs you trained. But the tuition, it's all taken care of and you'll keep receiving your salary while you study. Karen began to cry. Why are you doing this? Because you taught us that family isn't just blood. It's love, dedication, presence. Your family, Karen, it was too much. Karen, who had always cared for others, didn't know how to receive care. I don't know what to say. Say yes. For you, for Emily, for all the children you can help. Karen took a deep breath. Yes, the news was met with celebration. Emily was over the moon with happiness. Jason was proud of his mother. Richard opened a special bottle of wine. A toast, he proposed, to new beginnings. But as with everything in life, the road wouldn't be easy. The course was intense. Karen, who hadn't studied in years, struggled to keep up. Many nights she stayed up studying after taking care of the house and helping Emily. "Mom, you need to rest." Jason found her asleep on her books. "I need to learn this, son. Musical harmony is so complicated." "Let me see. Mom, I had this in physics. I can help." And so Jason began helping Karen with the theoretical part. It was beautiful to see mother and son studying together. Emily also wanted to help. In the afternoons, they practiced Karen's lessons together. "Look, Karen, this exercise is just like the one we did last week." The girl was right. By teaching, Karen had intuitively learned much of what she was now studying formally. But there was resistance in the course. Some classmates, younger and with traditional training, looked down on Karen. "A maid wanting to be a teacher," she heard one whisper. Karen swallowed the humiliation and kept going. She had Emily in mind. During a practical class, the teacher asked each student to demonstrate technique with an instrument. When it was Karen's turn, the snickering began. She sat at the harp and did what she knew, told a story through music. When she finished, the silence was reverent. "Where did you learn to play like that?" the teacher asked in awe. "From my grandmother and from life." "Class, this is what we call innate musicality. Technique can be learned, but this is her gift." The snickering stopped. Karen had earned respect. At home, the routine had completely changed. Emily was enrolled at the Metropolitan Academy of Music and thriving. Jennifer reduced her workload to be with her daughter. Richard discovered the joy of playing guitar with Emily. "It's a different house," Karen remarked to Jason during a visit. "Thanks to you, Mom." "No, they always had love. They just needed to learn how to show it." One day, Emily came home from the academy beaming. Karen, I was chosen for the end-of-year recital." "That's wonderful, sweetheart. But there's a problem." Her enthusiasm faded. "It's at Lincoln Center. There are so many stairs." Karen saw the worry in Jennifer and Richard's eyes. Lincoln Center was notorious for its lack of accessibility. "We'll fix this," Karen said firmly. "How?" Richard asked. "I don't know yet, but Emily will play in that recital." A battle began. Karen, Jennifer, and Richard went to the theater, spoke with the administration. "We're sorry," the administrator said, "but we don't have wheelchair access to the stage." "Then make it," Jennifer replied firmly. "Ma'am, it's not that simple." "What isn't simple is explaining to a talented child that she can't share her gift because of stairs," Richard interjected. Karen had an idea. "What if she played in the audience, close to the stage?" "That's never been done. There's a first time for everything." After much discussion, they agreed to consider the possibility, but Karen knew they needed more support. "Let's rally the other parents," she suggested. "Will they support us?" Jennifer doubted. "We'll find out." At the next parent meeting at the academy, Karen asked to speak. With trembling legs, she explained the situation. "Today it's Emily. Tomorrow it could be any of our children. Music should be for everyone." Silence. Then one mother stood. "My son has diabetes. I always fear he'll be excluded because of it. I support Emily." Another father spoke up. "My daughter has dyslexia. She struggles every day. I support her too." One by one, the parents stood in solidarity. By the end, they had a petition and a commitment to pressure the theater. The mobilization worked. The theater, pressured and embarrassed, not only allowed Emily to play in an accessible space, but also promised future renovations. Emily was overjoyed. "We did it, Karen. I'm going to perform at Lincoln Center. You'll perform anywhere. Your talent takes you." The rehearsals for the recital intensified. Karen divided her time between studying, helping Emily, and keeping up the house. One afternoon, she found Jennifer crying in the garden. "Mrs. Jennifer, what happened?" "Nothing. It's just... look at this." It was a video of Emily teaching a classmate at the Metropolitan Academy of Music how to position her hands on the harp. With patience and care, just like Karen would. "She learned from you," Jennifer said. "The generosity, the patience. Karen, you gave my daughter something I couldn't. Confidence in herself. You're giving it to her now. It's never too late." Do you know what Emily told me yesterday? That when she grows up, she wants to be a teacher like you, not just a harpist. A teacher. Karen felt her heart overflow. The day of the recital arrived. Lincoln Center was packed. Backstage, Karen helped Emily with the final preparations. Nervous? A little, but I remembered what you said. Fear is normal. Courage is playing despite it. My wise girl. Jennifer and Richard came to give her a hug. We're so proud, Richard said, emotional. You'll do amazing. Sweetheart, Jennifer kissed her forehead. When it was Emily's turn, the theater fell silent. The girl was positioned in a special spot, visible to the entire audience. Karen held her breath. This was the moment they'd worked so hard for. Emily began with a simple piece to warm up. Then came the main piece, an original composition she'd created with Karen. For Grandma Eleanor, whom I never knew but lives in the music, and for Karen, who taught me to fly. The dedication, read by the announcer, made Karen cry. The music that followed was transcendent. Emily didn't just play, she soared. Every note told her story of overcoming, of love, of family found in the most unexpected places. When the last note faded, the silence lasted an eternity. Then someone stood up, another followed. In moments, the entire theater was on its feet, applauding. Emily cried and smiled. She searched for Karen with her eyes and, when she found her, formed a heart with her hands. After the recital, they were surrounded by moved guests. What a beautiful performance. Your daughter is inspiring. How can we take lessons with you? That's when Karen realized many parents wanted her to teach their children. Karen will be offering private lessons soon, Jennifer announced proudly. She's finishing her training. Do you take children with special needs? A hopeful mother asked. I take every child, Karen replied. Music has no barriers. In the car on the way home, Emily slept, exhausted but happy. Karen stared out the window, processing everything. What are you thinking about? Jennifer asked. How life takes turns. Months ago, I was quietly cleaning your house. Today your family, Richard finished. And you've changed our lives. You've changed mine too. Jason was waiting at home with cake and soda. To the best harpist in the United States, he toasted. And to the best teacher, Emily added. As they celebrated, Karen got a call. It was the director of the academy. Karen, sorry to call so late, but I needed to speak with you. After tonight's recital, we've had many requests. From parents wanting lessons with Emily's teacher. Would you consider teaching here officially? Karen nearly dropped the phone. I haven't finished my degree yet. Finish it. The position will be waiting. We need teachers like you. When she hung up, everyone looked at her expectantly. Well, Emily asked eagerly. They offered me a teaching position at the academy. The room erupted. Emily spun in her chair, Jason hugged his mom, Jennifer and Richard smiled proudly. Did you accept? Jason asked. I said I need to finish my degree first. But you'll accept after, right? Emily pressed. Karen looked at the people who had become her extended family. Yes, I'll accept. The following months flew by. Karen graduated with honors and was chosen to give the class speech. I learned it's never too late to start over, she said into the microphone. That dreams don't have an expiration date, and that sometimes by teaching we learn more than we could ever imagine. Emily was in the front row, clapping wildly. Karen began teaching at the academy. Her first official class had 5 children, 3 of them with special needs. The secret, she told the parents, is to see the music inside each child. Not the limitations, but the possibilities. Emily remained her special student, but was now also her assistant, helping the younger children. Karen, look, Sophia played 3 notes. Wonderful. Sophia, you're doing so well. Little Sophia, who had Down syndrome, beamed with joy. One day, Jennifer showed up at the academy with a proposal. Karen, Richard, and I have been talking. We want to create a foundation. A foundation? To provide music scholarships for underprivileged children, especially those with disabilities. And we want you to be the educational director. Karen had to sit down. This is huge. You deserve big things. Emily already agreed to be the junior ambassador, Jennifer said with a wink. "It's true, Karen," Emily confirmed. "We'll bring music to everyone." How could she say no? The Eleanor Foundation, named in honor of Karen's grandmother, started small, but Emily's story had touched many hearts, and donations began pouring in. "Mom, there's a line of kids wanting to sign up." Jason helped with the administrative work. "We'll take them all one at a time." The work was intense. Karen divided her time between teaching at the academy, the foundation, and caring for her extended family. One particularly tough afternoon, with 3 new children crying and anxious parents, Karen nearly gave up. "I don't know if I can do this," she confessed to Emily. "Karen, remember when I said I couldn't play? What did you tell me?" "That the music was inside you." And it was. Now you need to believe the strength is inside you. When had a 9-year-old become so wise? The foundation's first recital was unforgettable. 15 children performed, each with their own story of triumph. Jacob, who was autistic, played the flute with mathematical precision. Mary, who was blind, moved everyone with her violin. Peter, with cerebral palsy, created unique rhythms on an adapted drum set. And Emily, now 11, played the harp, accompanying them all. "Music has no barriers," she announced into the microphone. "Karen taught me that, and now we pass it on." The audience, filled with emotional parents and supporters, gave a standing ovation. Among them, Karen spotted a familiar face. It was her cousin Catherine, whom she hadn't seen in years. "Karen? Is that really you?" I saw the article about the foundation and couldn't believe it. "Catherine," they embraced. Her cousin looked around in awe. "You, a teacher? Who would have thought? Life takes unexpected turns. I remember when we were kids, you playing with Grandma. She'd be so proud." Karen felt tears welling up. Yes, Grandma Eleanor would be proud. The foundation's success caught the attention of the local media. A newspaper wanted to feature Emily and Karen. "I don't know if we should," Karen hesitated. "Why not?" Jennifer encouraged. "It could inspire other families." The interview took place at the Thompsons' home. The reporter was fascinated by the story. "So you used to work here as a maid?" I do. I mean..." Karen stumbled. "She's family," Emily interjected firmly. "Karen has always been family. It just took us a while to see it." The reporter turned to Jennifer. "And how did you feel when you found out your maid was teaching your daughter?" Jennifer didn't hesitate. "Ashamed for not recognizing the treasure we had in our home sooner." Karen didn't just teach Emily music. She taught all of us what unconditional love means. The article, published on Sunday, had a huge impact. The foundation's phone wouldn't stop ringing. "Karen, people from 3 neighboring towns want to bring their children," Jason reported. "How are we going to accommodate everyone?" It was Richard who came up with the idea. "What if we train other teachers? Create a Karen method." "Karen method?" she laughed. "That's an exaggeration." "It's not," Emily defended. "You have a special way. We should teach others." And so the training program was born. Karen, with help from teachers at the Metropolitan Academy of Music, developed a course to teach her inclusive approach. "The important thing," she explained to the future teachers, "is to see the child first, the disability second, or better, yet to see the difference as just another characteristic, not a limitation." The first group had 10 teachers. Each would return to their town and open a foundation branch. At their graduation, Karen was emotional. "You won't just teach music. You'll change lives, just like mine was changed." Emily performed at the ceremony, now 13 and an accomplished harpist. "I dedicate this piece to all the teachers who see possibilities where others see problems." One graduate approached Karen afterward. "Professor, Karen, I have a son with autism. For years I thought he'd never connect with the world. After using your techniques," he smiled. "While playing drums," he smiled. Karen hugged him, moved. Moments like these made it all worth it. But not everything was a success. There were tough days. Children who didn't progress as hoped, frustrated parents. "Karen, I think Marcus has no talent," a mother said dejectedly. "Every child has talent. Sometimes we just haven't found the right instrument." They tried. Guitar, keyboard, flute. Nothing. Then by chance, Marcus saw Jason setting up sound for a rehearsal. "Can I help?" the boy asked shyly. As he fiddled with cables and settings, Marcus transformed. He intuitively understood acoustics, how sound traveled. "Karen," Jason called, "you have to see this." Marcus had created a unique sound effect, mixing sounds from different instruments. "This is music too," Karen told the surprised mother. "Music production. Your son has a rare talent," the mother cried. "I only saw what he couldn't do, not what he could. It's the most common mistake, we all make it." Emily, watching, later remarked, "Karen, you work miracles." "I don't work miracles. I just help people see what was always there." The foundation grew, but Karen insisted on maintaining quality. "It's no use serving many if we don't serve well," she said in meetings. Jennifer, now board president, agreed. Sustainable growth. Like Karen taught us step by step. Richard handled finances, ensuring no child went without care due to lack of funds. "We have a waiting list of companies wanting to sponsor," he reported in one meeting. "Great. But we only accept those who understand our mission," Karen was firm. A major company offered a donation on the condition of choosing which children to serve. "We want to ensure they're cases with real potential," the executive explained. Karen refused immediately. Our children have real potential. If you can't see that, you don't understand our purpose." The executive left angry. Jennifer was worried. "Karen, that was a lot of money. Wrong money costs too much. We won't sell our principles." A week later, the same executive returned. "My daughter saw the story about you, said I needed to learn real inclusion. I accept your terms." It was another victory of values over capital. Emily, now 14, had become a national symbol of overcoming through music. They received invitations to perform across the state. "Karen, I got an invitation to play in the Capitol," she cheered. "How wonderful." "But I'll only go if you come with me." You and my parents. The family traveled together. At the Grand Theatre in the Capitol, Emily shone, but the most emotional moment was when she called Karen to the stage. "I want everyone to meet my teacher, Karen Miller. She taught me that disability doesn't define ability, that love has no barriers, and that music is the universal language of the soul." The theatre applauded Karen, who couldn't stop crying. At the reception after the performance, they were approached by a music producer. "Emily has an international future. We can take her to study abroad." Jennifer and Richard looked hopefully at their daughter. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. "Thank you," Emily replied maturely, "but my place is here. I have a mission with the foundation. Kids like me need to see it's possible," the producer insisted, but Emily stood firm. In the car on the way back to the hotel, Jennifer asked, "Sweetheart, are you sure? It was the chance of a lifetime." "Mom, my life is already a chance. Karen taught me that success isn't about being famous. It's about making a difference." Karen, in the front seat, couldn't stop crying. "I've created a monster," she joked through tears. "A monster of wisdom and kindness." Back in town, routine resumed. But Karen noticed something different about Jason. "Son, what's wrong? You've been quiet." "Mom, I got an internship offer in New York." Karen's heart tightened. Her boy leaving? "Is it a great opportunity?" "Yes, at a music technology company. They saw my work at the foundation." "Then you should go." "But Mom, you need me here." "I need you to be happy. Go, son, the foundation will carry on." It was Emily who helped convince Jason. "Go and learn everything, then come back and help us grow even more." Jason hugged the sister he'd gained. "I'll miss you, little one." "I'm not so little anymore," Emily protested, laughing. The goodbye was hard, but Karen knew it was right. Just as she had learned to fly, Jason needed to spread his own wings. With Jason away, Karen leaned even more on the Thompson family. They lived in separate houses, but they were one family. "Karen, why don't you move into the guest house?" Jennifer suggested. "It's closer to the foundation." "I don't know. I've already taken so much of your kindness." "Karen," Richard interjected, "when will you understand it's not kindness, it's gratitude? You gave us back our daughter. You taught us how to be a family. Emily was more direct. Stop the drama and just move in already. I need... You close by. Karen agreed. The little guest house became her new home, decorated with photos of the foundation's children, diplomas, and the harp Jennifer and Richard had given her as a gift. Now you can practice whenever you want, Emily said at the housewarming. The foundation celebrated its second anniversary with a big celebration. 300 children had passed through its doors. Many stayed, others had moved on, but all carried music in their hearts. During the party, Karen was surprised. "Mom?" Jason had returned unexpectedly, bringing equipment donated by his company. "I secured a partnership. We'll be able to record the kids' performances." Another dream coming true. But the biggest surprise came from Emily. Now 15, she took the stage with determination. "Today I want to make an announcement. Next year I'll start volunteering to teach the younger kids. Karen taught me that knowledge multiplies when shared." Karen's pride was indescribable. Her little girl had become a young woman with purpose. After the party, the two stayed in the music room just like old times. "Karen, can I confess something?" "Always." "Sometimes I'm scared. Of not being good enough, of disappointing everyone. Fear is human. I'm scared every day." "You? Of what?" "Of not being able to help every child who needs it. Of not being the teacher they deserve. To wake up one day and discover it was all a dream." Emily held her hand. "It's not a dream. It's real because we built it together. Brick by brick, note by note. They stood there, teacher and student, but above all, two souls who found each other and changed each other's destinies. The next day, Karen received a letter that left her in shock. It was from the Department of Cultural Affairs. "Dear Mrs. Karen Miller, we are pleased to inform you that you have been chosen as Educator of the Year." "Jennifer, Richard." Karen rushed to the main house. "What's wrong?" Jennifer was startled. Karen showed the letter, unable to speak. "My God, Karen, this is wonderful." Richard read and reread it. "There will be a ceremony. You'll receive the award from the mayor." "Me, an award, but I just do what I love." "That's exactly why you deserve it." Emily appeared. "Karen, you've changed the lives of hundreds of children." The news spread. The Academy buzzed. The Eleanor Foundation celebrated. Karen, always so strong, felt vulnerable. "I don't know if I deserve this," she confessed to Jason over the phone. "Mum, if anyone deserves it, it's you. Remember when we were poor and you said things would get better one day?" "I remember. You didn't just improve our lives, you improved an entire city's." On the night of the ceremony, Karen was nervous. Jennifer had insisted on buying her a new dress. "No showing up in old clothes, you're a star." "I'm a teacher." "A star teacher," Emily corrected. The Lincoln Center was packed. All the children from the foundation were there, many in wheelchairs, with canes, hearing aids, but all smiling. When Karen was called to the stage, the room erupted in applause. The mayor gave a speech about inclusion, education, social transformation. Karen barely heard it, her eyes fixed on her students in the audience. Now, we ask Professor Karen to say a few words. Karen approached the microphone, her hands shaking. I didn't prepare a speech. How do you thank someone for living a dream? 3 years ago, I cleaned houses. Today, I help children discover there are no limits when you have love and music. But I didn't do it alone." She looked at Emily, Jennifer, and Richard in the front. "Faustin family taught me that love transforms. A brave girl showed me that limitations exist only in our minds. And hundreds of children prove to me every day that difference is just another word for special." She paused, emotional. "This award isn't mine. It belongs to every child who dared to pick up an instrument, to every family who chose to see possibilities, to everyone who believes inclusion isn't a favor. It's a right, it's justice, it's love." When she finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Emily was the first to stand, then Jason. Jennifer and Richard followed. Within seconds, the entire theater was on its feet. But the most touching moment came afterward. The children from the foundation had prepared a surprise. They took the stage, each with their instrument. "For our teacher Karen," announced Jacob, the autistic boy, who taught us to make music with our hearts. They played together a melody Karen recognized immediately. Gratitude, her grandmother's song. How did you... Emily taught us. Sophia, the girl with Down syndrome, explained with a smile. She said it was special to you. Karen hugged each child, openly crying. It was the greatest award she could receive. After the ceremony at the reception, an elderly woman approached Karen. "You don't know me," the woman said, "but I knew your grandmother. Grandma Eleanor played at my wedding 60 years ago." Karen could hardly believe it. "Really?" She played Gratitude. The same song the children played today. Eleanor would be so proud. The woman handed her an old photo. It was Grandma Eleanor, young, standing beside a harp. "I've kept it all these years. I think it belongs to you." Karen pressed the photo to her chest. It was as if her grandmother were there, blessing everything. Life went on, but now with a new dimension. The award brought visibility. Proposals came from all sides. "Karen, a university wants you to give lectures," Jennifer announced excitedly. "Me? But I don't even have a college degree." "You have something better. Results, experience, heart." Karen agreed to give a lecture. She was terrified. "What will I say to doctors and masters?" "The truth," Emily advised, "that a diploma doesn't make a teacher. Love does." At the university, she faced a room full of academics. She started trembling, but when she spoke about her children, passion took over. She told them about Jacob, who didn't speak but communicated perfectly through the piano, about Mary, blind, who saw through sounds, about Peter, who turned physical limitations into a unique rhythm. Every child is a universe. Our job isn't to mold them into what we expect, but to discover who they are. After the lecture, she was surrounded by emotional students. "Teacher, how can I work at the foundation? I learned more today than in years of college. Would you take interns?" Karen returned home fulfilled. Who would have thought the janitor would become a reference in inclusive education? But the challenges continued. Not all stories were immediate successes. Carly arrived at the foundation, an 8-year-old girl with severe paralysis. She barely moved her fingers. "They said she'd never play anything," her mother explained hopelessly. "But she loves music." Karen studied the situation. Traditional instruments were impossible, but giving up never. "Jason, I need your help." Through a video call, mother and son devised a solution. With technology, they created a system where Carly could make music with small movements. It took weeks of attempts, many failures. Carly sometimes cried in frustration. "I can't do it, Karen." "Not yet, but you will," Emily helped, encouraging her. "You know, Carly, they said I'd never play the harp professionally. Look at me now." Finally, on an ordinary day, it happened. Carly managed to create a simple melody by moving just one finger on a sensor. The girl's smile lit up the room. "I made music. Karen, I made music," her mother cried. Karen did too. It was for moments like this that everything was worth it. "You always had music inside you," Karen said. "We just needed to find the way." Carly's story went viral. A video of her playing reached millions of views. Interview requests came daily. "Karen, they want you on a national show," Richard informed her. "I don't know, too much exposure." "Think of the children you could reach," Jennifer argued. "How many Carlys are out there thinking they can't?" Karen agreed. On the show, Live for the Whole Country, she spoke about real inclusion. It's not about adapting the child to the world. It's about adapting the world to include every child. The host, known for being tough, got emotional. "My niece has a disability. The whole family thinks she has no future. Bring her to meet us. Future is built, not given ready-made." The impact was immense. The foundation received requests for help from across the country. "Karen, we need to expand," Richard proposed in an emergency meeting. "How do we maintain quality while expanding?" "By training more teachers like you," Emily suggested. "Let's create Karen University." "Emily," Karen laughed, "that's too much." "It's not too much, it's vision." They started small, an intensive course in inclusive music education, 30 teachers from different states. Karen was terrified. Me teaching certified teachers? You teaching people who want to make a difference, Jason corrected, now fully back and handling the technical side of the expansion. The course was a success. The teachers left transformed. I've spent my whole life teaching music, an older man said on the last day. But I'd never taught with my heart. Thank you, Karen. Each teacher returned to their city with the mission to create a hub. Within 6 months, the foundation had branches in 10 states. Karen, you've started a movement, Jennifer exclaimed. We did, all of us. Emily, now 17, had become the youth ambassador for the project. She traveled, giving talks, performing, inspiring. Karen, I got invited to play at the opening of an international conference on inclusion. How wonderful, where? Right here, they're bringing experts from all over the world. And they want you to be one of the keynote speakers. Karen felt the weight of responsibility. From janitor to international speaker, life really had its twists. Preparing for the conference, Karen dedicated herself like never before. She studied, researched, organized data. Mom, you're going to rock it, Jason assured her. Just be yourself. It's just that myself still feels like the Karen who used to clean bathrooms. And that Karen had the same greatness as the one today. It was just hidden. The conference arrived, experts from 20 countries. Karen would be the only speaker without a PhD. The night before, she couldn't sleep. Emily showed up at her house at 2 a.m. Knew you'd be awake. How did you get in? Jennifer gave me the key, said you'd need support. They sat together, as they had so many times before. You know what I think when I get nervous? Emily asked. What? That day, years ago, when you walked into the music room and changed my life. If you hadn't had the courage back then, it was different. I had nothing to lose. You had everything to lose, your job, your dignity. But you chose to help me. Now, you'll help thousands. By morning, Karen was ready. Not confident, but determined. At the conference, she listened to brilliant talks from PhDs, renowned researchers. When her turn came, she took a deep breath. Good afternoon. I'm Karen Miller. I don't have a PhD. I don't have published research. What I have are hundreds of children who've learned that disability doesn't define ability. She told stories of Emily, of Jacob, of Carly, of every child who'd come through the foundation. She showed videos, shared simple but effective methods. Real inclusion isn't in complex theories. It's in looking at a child and seeing their possibilities, not their limitations. When she finished, silence was followed by something unprecedented at the conference. A standing ovation that lasted minutes. Researchers surrounded her. Your methods are revolutionary. We need to study your cases. Would you join an international research project? Karen was stunned. Revolutionary, her. Emily hugged her. See, you're amazing. I just love what I do. And that's your superpower. Proposals multiplied. Universities wanted to study the Karen method. Countries wanted to replicate the model. Karen, you need to decide, Richard advised. This could grow too big to control. I don't want to control it, I want to spread it. Let each place adapt it to their reality, but keep the essence. They created a manual, simple but profound. Jason developed an online platform where teachers worldwide could share experiences. Mom, there are people in India using your methods. India? It was surreal. Karen Miller, former janitor, influencing music education globally. But she kept her feet on the ground. Every morning she arrived early at the original foundation, working directly with the children. Why do you still do this? A reporter asked. You could just supervise. Because it's here, face to face with each child, that I remember why I do all this. Emily had graduated high school. The inevitable question came, what will you do with your life? Music and education. Like you, Karen. Are you sure? There are so many other possibilities. I found my calling at 9 when you taught me to fly. Now I want to teach others. Emily was accepted to the best music university in the country, with a full scholarship, but she chose to study in their hometown. My place is here by your side. The day Emily gave her first official lesson was emotional. Karen watched discreetly from the back of the room. The young woman, now 18, taught a group of small children with the same patience and love she had learned. Music lives inside each of us. Shall we discover it together? It was the circle completing itself. That evening, Karen found Jennifer and Richard on the porch of the main house. "It feels like yesterday," Jennifer remarked nostalgically. "What does? You're walking into that music room, changing everything." "You're the ones who changed everything. You gave me a chance." "No," Richard corrected. "You gave us a chance to be the family we were always meant to be." They stood there, in comfortable silence. Three people fate had improbably brought together. The Eleanor Foundation was turning 5. 1,000 children served directly, 10,000 through its outreach programs, numbers Karen could hardly process. For the celebration, they planned something special. A concert featuring former students showing how far they'd come. Jacob, the autistic boy, now a teenager, had become a composer. His pieces were performed by orchestras. Mary, who was blind, was the youngest violinist in the state youth orchestra. Carly, who could barely move her fingers, had created software, allowing people with severe paralysis to compose music. And Emily, of course, would be the star of the evening. "Nervous?" Karen asked backstage. "Always. But you taught me nervous is good. It means it matters." The Lincoln Center was packed. Officials, families, supporters, the press. Everyone wanted to witness the miracle of the Eleanor Foundation. Jennifer, as president, opened the evening. 5 years ago, a courageous woman taught me that love knows no barriers. Today we celebrate not just music, but transformation. Karen Miller, you've changed our city. The applause was deafening. The concert was magical. Each performance told a story of triumph. But the most emotional moment came at the end. Emily took the stage. "Tonight I want to do something different. Karen, will you join me?" Karen froze. She wasn't prepared. "Go." Jason gently nudged her. On stage, Emily embraced her. "Years ago you played your grandmother's music for me. Tonight I want to play with you." 2 harps were set up. Karen trembled. "Emily, I don't—" "You can. You always could." They began together. Gratitude, the melody that spanned generations. Karen and Emily, teacher and student, but above all, 2 souls who had saved each other. The crowd erupted. Tears, applause, pure emotion. As the last notes faded, Emily took the microphone. "Karen Miller taught me how to fly, but tonight I want to share a secret. While teaching me, she learned to fly too. Because that's what love does. It transforms everyone it touches." They held each other on stage, weeping. The audience stood, clapping without end. Backstage after the concert, Karen was surprised. "Mom?" Jason was kneeling, a young woman beside him. "Karen? This is Sarah, my fiancée. We'd like your blessing." Karen hugged them both, overjoyed. Her boy, now a man, building his own family. "Once I get to know you better," Sarah said shyly, "I hope to be even half the woman you are." "Sweetheart, just be yourself. That's always enough." The night ended with the whole family together. Karen, Jason, Sarah, Emily, Jennifer, and Richard. An unlikely but perfect family. "A toast," Richard proposed, "to Karen, who taught us the true meaning of family." "And to you," Karen replied, "who showed me dreams really can come true." But life still held surprises. One ordinary morning, Karen received an official letter. The envelope bore the national seal. "What's this?" she murmured. Opening it, it was an invitation. The Department of Education wanted to implement the Karen method nationwide. "Jennifer! Richard!" She ran to the main house. They read it together in disbelief. "Hey, Karen, this will change the country," Jennifer exclaimed. "It's too big, I don't know if—" "If anyone can do it, it's you," Richard said. Emily came running in. "What happened? Why the shouting?" They showed her the letter. Emily jumped. Literally, she had learned to do small jumps with assistance. "Karen, you're going to change the United States. Easy now, it's just an invitation to talk. Talk to government officials about transforming the country's music education." It was terrifying. "Karen, who just a few years ago had been mopping floors, was now being consulted about public policy. The meeting in Washington, D.C. was intense. Karen, accompanied by Emily as a living example of the method, presented to a room full of scholars and bureaucrats. Inclusion can't be the exception, it has to be the standard, she argued. But the cost, an economist countered. What's the cost of wasting talent, of telling millions of children they can't? Emily asked to speak. Gentlemen, I'm what you call a cost, a wheelchair user who needs accommodations. But I'm also this. She played a short piece on the portable harp they'd brought. When she finished, several people were wiping away tears. How many Emilys are out there waiting for a chance? The tone of the meeting shifted. The project was approved for testing in 100 cities. On the flight back, Karen was in shock. 100 cities, Emily? How are we going to... The same way we started, one child at a time, only now with more help. The following months were filled with intense work, training instructors, creating materials, adapting methods for different realities. Karen traveled, taught, and learned, but she always came back home to her original students. How's the new group? She asked Emily during one visit. Challenging. There's a boy, Gabriel, who reminds me of someone. Who? Myself. He thinks he can't, that he doesn't deserve it. But Karen, when he plays, it's pure magic. Then you know what to do. Tell her, love him until he believes in himself, like you did for me. The national pilot was a success, not perfect, many adjustments were needed, but transformative. Karen received videos from across the country, children playing, smiling, discovering. They were capable. Mom, you're getting famous, Jason teased. I don't want fame, I want change. You're getting both. One day she got an unexpected call. Karen Miller, this is the production team for National Spotlight. We'd like to do a special feature on your life. My life? The janitor who revolutionized inclusive music education in the United States. Karen hesitated, exposing her personal life. Think about it, Jennifer advised. How many Karens are out there thinking they're just janitors? She was right. Karen agreed. The crew spent a week filming. They interviewed everyone. Emily, the Thompson family, Jason, the children, former students. Karen saved my life. Jacob, now a young composer, told the camera. I lived in a silent world. She showed me I could create my own sounds. The hardest part was revisiting her old life. They filmed Karen in a house like the ones she used to clean, demonstrating her routine. It feels like another life, she said, emotional. It was you preparing for this one, the director observed. The feature aired on a Sunday. Karen watched, surrounded by family. Seeing her story on national TV was surreal. The early struggles, meeting Emily, everyone's transformation. Today, Karen Miller is an international leader in inclusion, the reporter narrated. But she insists on remembering she's still the same person who cleaned houses. She just discovered she could also clean away prejudices. The impact surpassed expectations. The phone wouldn't stop ringing. Offers, invitations, people wanting to help. But the most important messages were from other Karens across the country. I'm a janitor with an autistic son. Your story gave me hope. I work as a housekeeper and always dreamed of being a teacher. You showed me I can. My daughter has paralysis. I thought she had no future. Thank you for proving me wrong. Karen replied to every message she could. It was her new mission. Jason's wedding was an intimate yet emotional family event. Karen cried as she watched her son, now the technology director at the Eleanor Foundation, marry Sarah. Mom, none of this would exist without you, Jason said at the altar. Emily was the maid of honor playing the harp for the bride's entrance. Family grows, she remarked happily. The foundation now had its own headquarters, a renovated building, donated by a businessman moved by their work. Karen, we can now serve 300 children at once, Jennifer announced, without losing quality. I promise. Every child will still be unique. Emily, now graduated, officially took over as pedagogical coordinator alongside Karen. My successor, Karen teased. Never, I'm your partner, I'll always be your student. At 50, Karen found herself in a place she'd never imagined, respected, fulfilled, loved. But the best gift came on an ordinary afternoon. Grandma Karen, Jason and Sarah arrived with a baby. Meet Sophia, named after your student. Karen held her granddaughter, moved. The cycle of life continued. She'll grow up in a better world, Emily said. A world you helped create. We all did, all of us. That night, Karen played the harp for her granddaughter. The same song her grandmother had played, the one she'd played for Emily, now echoing for a new generation. Jennifer and Richard watched from the doorway, touched. You know what I think, Jennifer whispered. What? That God sent Karen to save us all. And we saved her too, Richard added. That's how love works. In circles. Little Sophia fell asleep to the sound of the harp. Karen looked around. Her unlikely yet perfect family, the work she loved, the legacy they'd built. Thank you, Grandma, she whispered to the sky, for teaching me that music heals and that love knows no barriers. Emily approached. Karen? Yes? I think Sophia has a harpist's fingers. Karen laughed. Every child has their own talent. We'll discover hers in time, and with love and patience, always with love and patience. The sun set over the city they'd transformed. Somewhere a child discovered they could make music. Elsewhere a family learned that difference is just another word for special. Karen Miller, the janitor who became a teacher, who became an inspiration, remained simply Karen. The woman who dared to love beyond conventions. And love, as her grandmother said, always finds a way. Even when it seems impossible. Especially when it seems impossible. The music played on. The children kept coming. The everyday miracles kept happening. Because when you plant love, you harvest transformation. And Karen had planted an entire garden. The end. What a touching story, isn't it? If you too were inspired by Karen and Emily's journey, leave your like and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Tell us in the comments. Do you know someone who transformed lives through music? Thank you for joining us.